Hi there. So you might have seen that earlier I dropped off some books at my old school for raffle prizes for their production of Oliver, and I was asked to talk a little bit about what the school was like in my time. There's something that I missed out of what was put there, and this is something that's really stuck in my mind, and I don't know how many other people have remembered this, but when I was 10 and a half, going on 11, when I was in year 7, for the first 6 months we had a head teacher who was retiring at Christmas. He'd kind of, I think he knew he was retiring. He had just kind of gone mentally. He didn't really care about the school anymore because he knew that he was retiring until his last assembly. And that last assembly stuck in my mind. He didn't do assembly very often. In fact, I think in the 6 months that he was the head teacher of the school, while I was there, I think he did it twice. And the reason for that is because he had a speech impediment. But his speech impediment is not really what we're here to talk about. But he would sort of hang on to the end of every word. He'd go like, "Good morning, class." Right, and the purpose of this is not to take the mick at how he spoke, because everyone has their problems, and it must have been really humiliating for him. However, as an immature person at school, I can understand it was quite hard not to laugh at him. But what he was saying was quite serious. In his last assembly, he started to talk about all the problems that were going on at the school, which he hoped that the new headmaster would be able to sort out. And he started to talk about a bullying incident where someone had been taken from the school and tied up with sellotape to the swings in the park. And that's just across the road from the school. They'd been tied up with sellotape, and the sellotape was set fire to. So obviously this is quite serious, right? And he suddenly, just out of nowhere, he looks down towards me and he goes, "I can see a boy laughing." So with that, he literally is pointing in my direction, and he comes down the steps from the stage, and he stood there in the middle of the assembly, and he said, "I can see a boy laughing. I am going to punch him in the face." And as I say, I'm not laughing at how he was speaking. That's just doing an impression of how it came across. And because he's pointing towards me, and I'm like, but I'm not laughing. I'm not laughing. Like. So he then went on to remind us that it was because it was his last day at the school, and he couldn't get the sack for punching a child, so he had no reason not to. And he keeps on coming down the middle, down the middle of the chairs, and he's walking up towards me, and I'm like, I'm not laughing, I'm not laughing. And of course, I was on the end of the row as well, so he's going to come, he's going to easily be able to get to me, and I'm like totally mistaken. I'm not laughing at this. Don't think it's funny at all. And he reaches me, and suddenly realised he walked straight past, and I thought, and it turns out that there was actually a kid like 3 or 4 rows behind me. The little bastard was laughing his face off. I mean, he was literally laughing about a kid being set on fire. I mean, come on. I mean, as an adult now, I mean, I would have been on the headmaster's side. Not that I condone any type of violence towards people, but yeah. I just wondered if anyone else who I'd been to school with would remember that or not. Because or not that I've been to school with anyone who's on TikTok, but it's weird that that kind of stuck in my memory, and other people I don't think really ever spoke about it. Of course, he never got near the child because the other teachers sort of they saw what was going on and heard what was going on and kind of ushered him away, shall we say? And that teacher was a good guy. Many years after that, I used to see him at the football. He had no recollection of me whatsoever. You wouldn't do because I was only at his school for 6 months. Well, technically not. I was there for 5 years, but he was only there for 6 months at that time. But it just makes me wonder, what if he had hit a pupil after all that time on his last day, after being the headmaster for 20 plus years? Ruin your career in just for one person. I don't know why I'm even telling this story, but just something that came to my mind. You're probably all left by now.